The Galactic Military Academy had never seen a failure rate like this. In the past 1,000 years, recruitment standards have been refined to perfection. Only the strongest, the fastest, the most intelligent species passed the basic combat and endurance trials. Until the humans arrived. Instructor Vexthar of the Crystalline Zethnari watched the first cohort of recruits with satisfaction. A Krell warrior with 3 times human strength. A Vorkai with reflexes that could track light. A ZYXrian with tactical mind integration. And 5 humans from the planet Earth. A backwater death world that shouldn't have even been contacted by the Academy yet. The first trial was the endurance run. 50 kilometers across desert terrain in 110-degree heat. The Zethnari had designed it specifically to filter out the weak. The Krell finished in record time, barely breathing hard. The Vorkai came in second. The ZYXrian's processing speed had calculated the optimal route. And then came the humans. They staggered across the finish line, absolutely wrecked. Sweating profusely, breathing heavily, some nearly collapsing. Vexthar watched with barely concealed amusement. They would be dismissed before lunch. But then Commander Dexkos arrived, a Vorkai administrator from the main academy. She studied the results and frowned. "Run the trial again," she commanded. But this time, observers only. The second cohort went through the same run. Identical results. The advanced species succeeded. The humans failed, except Dexkos had her medical team analyze the human performance data. What they discovered shattered every assumption the Academy had ever made. The human bodies had sustained damage. Microfractures in bones, torn muscle fibers, dehydrated organs pushed to critical limits. Any other species would need weeks to recover. Any other species would be permanently injured. The humans would be fine in a few days. "What is this?" Vexthar demanded when Dexkos presented the data. "This," Dexkos said quietly, "is what life on a death world teaches you." She pulled up Earth's historical data, a planet where the atmosphere was toxic to most known species, where temperatures fluctuated wildly, where predators had evolved to hunt anything that moved, where diseases ravaged populations and natural disasters reshaped the landscape regularly. Humans evolved on a world that actively tried to kill them, Dexkos explained. Not metaphorically, constantly. Their bodies adapted to survive catastrophic damage and recover. Their minds learned to function under conditions where panic means death. They have a pain tolerance that registers as near psychotic to other species, but it's actually just normal for them. She displayed more data. Look at their psychological profiles. They volunteer for dangerous tasks. They laugh in life-threatening situations. They create humor about mortality. The psychological evaluation marked them as potentially unstable. "Aren't they?" Vexthar asked. "No," Dexkos said. "They're just used to surviving things that would break other species psychologically." She made a decision that would reshape the Academy. Instead of dismissing the humans, she redesigned the entire training curriculum to incorporate what Deathworlders understood instinctively. The new trials included controlled exposure to extreme conditions, survival scenarios where recruits had to function with injuries, psychological stress tests that pushed limits, recovery protocols that seemed impossibly brutal. The advanced species struggled terribly at first, but watching the humans move through these trials with almost casual competence became educational. A Krell warrior watched a human perform emergency field surgery on themselves with a shattered arm and realized that pain wasn't failure. It was just information. A Vorkai strategist observed humans continuing tactical analysis while subjected to sensory overload and understood that focus wasn't about comfort. It was about refusing to break. Within 6 months, the Academy's performance metrics had transformed. The advanced species, challenged to match Deathworlder standards, began pushing themselves past previous limitations. They learned that strength wasn't about being born powerful. It was about refusing to surrender when it would be easier to die. The humans, meanwhile, finally started passing trials by the standards of their own species. Their instructors, other humans, evaluated them on metrics that mattered. Did you survive? Did you protect your team? Did you adapt when everything went wrong? By graduation, something unprecedented happened. The 5 humans ranked in the top 10 of their entire cohort. But more importantly, every single species in that cohort had been transformed. They'd learned that a Deathworld survivor didn't have the genetic advantages others took for granted. They had something more dangerous. They had nothing left to lose and everything to prove. Years later, when the galactic military was facing an impossible conflict, it was led by humans and the species they trained. And when victory seemed impossible, those leaders didn't hesitate, didn't panic, didn't surrender. They simply did what Deathworlders always do. They survived, adapted, and refused to accept defeat. Because that's what you learn when your planet is actively trying to kill you. Easy is just another word for not yet impossible.